Toda.
Good morning, bon dia.
Oh.
Hola a tothom. Soc el Miquel de Paladella, soc el conseller delegat d'App Social i és un plaer aquí estar amb vosaltres. I ara passo a l'anglès. So good morning, and I'm here with Nimrod and with Tsour. Tsour is the director of Dream Doctors in Israel. Nimrod Eisenberg is a clown dream doctor. For coming, for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. Gracias, muchas gracias.
Good. So
wait, I want to start with good news. Good news. We got the corona. We got it. E finale, terminada. Finito la commedia. We got the corona. It's fine. No problem. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So, no problem.
Okay,
Take off the mask, everybody.
Throw it away. Throw it away.
Nice.
Throw it away.
Back to life.
So, well, thank you very much again for making it. I wanted to take this opportunity to ask you a couple of things about what you are doing in Israel, because it seems that Dream Doctors is very much a reference for many countries. But before getting into the details of how you do the things, I wanted to understand the why, particularly in the situation, in the context in which we are living today. With this health system is absolutely oversaturated with COVID-19. Hospitals, the whole system, everyone is very tired. It's been a long process, and we still don't see the end of the tunnel. So in a way, the perception could be that, you know, isn't it better to start to wait for dream doctors and clowns to get into hospitals for the times where we get back to a certain normality, instead of intervening in this moment of urgency, of overwhelming demand of health services? Is it really that important now, or should we wait for times to get back to normal?
I will start just by saying, Miguel, we in Dream Doctors really believe in the impact of laughter and clowning when it hurts, in the time of trauma. And we know that we can make a difference and make a change during the time of trouble. That is why we always look to be in the front and to collaborate with the medical staff in order to bring the change that we want to bring in the time of crisis.
So what you're saying is that in Israel you haven't stopped delivering your service, you haven't stopped being in hospitals?
Mm-hmm. In Israel, our project, the Dream Doctors project, is continuing to work all the time. Even in the lockdown that we had, the complete lockdown, our clowns were accepted as vital services for the hospital, and they had the card that let them pass and reach the hospital. Of course, they work under new protocol of the corona with every protection that we need, but we are here in this time to bring people the relief, the emotional support, and the help that we can in this emotional epidemic, the emotional side of corona.
Okay, but this is what you believe. What do people believe in Israel? And I'm talking about doctors, nurses, managers of hospitals, the ministry, and even patients and their families. What do they feel about having you there as another person that, you know, can bring, yes, emotional support, but also could bring some problems to the management of the crisis?
We are only able to do our work because we are in complete collaboration with the medical administration. The hospitals ask our clowns to come and work. They give us the official recognition as vital workers for Corona time, and they even use our clowns in different places in the hospital that they need. For example, the children of the staff, the children of nurses and doctors, in this high demand time, some of our clowns work with keeping these children together so that the doctors, the nurses can do their work. We are in Israel, we have a large project that is very well accepted, both by the hospitals and academia and the government, in a way that enables us to continue to work and even work more and give more help in this time of sadness. People are sad, people are worried, people are troubled. Clowning is one of these wonderful arts that can ease your mind, give you a perspective of different things in life, and give you this feeling that maybe things will go back to normal. That's our work these days in Israel.
So tell me about this integration. I'm very interested in understanding that the service of the clown doctors, of the dream doctors, is actually integrated with the management of the hospital. So what you're telling me is that a nurse or a doctor, when they meet on a, every once a week, and basically you are just one resource more, one team more to support the work of the hospital, and you organize on the basis of the needs of the hospital. That's how it works.
Let me answer on the field level where I work in my hospital in Tel Aviv, and maybe Tsour can answer on the big scale of how the model of our work. So on my level, I am part of the pediatric department in the Tel Aviv Medical Hospital, and they consult every week about the question, how and where will we use these resources, just as you said. We have a physiotherapist, we have diet clinician, we have social workers, and we have educational, and then also the clown, the emotional support. And we are part of their consideration in whatever they need. And so just as you asked me, this is how it works. My chief boss is not a clown, and it's not in the clown organization. It's my head nurse in my hospital, and she will direct me every week according to her needs. It's only because I listen to her and I work with her that we can collaborate so well.
I would like to add and just give a short background for my answer. So in the last 18 years, we developed a unique model of integrating medical clown as part of the healthcare system in Israel. From day one, what we want to achieve is to have medical clowning as a paramedical recognized profession in Israel. That's what we want to do. It's therapy by clowning, using the personal and emotional side to deal with patient and help medical team to advance the treatment. Our model is very unique and it's a bit different than what's happening all over the world. It's a diffuse model. We go to the CEOs of the hospital and we tell them, we want to give you the project. We want you to manage the project. We want you to operate it. Only you know what's the needs of this hospital. We will get an agreement of X amount of hours, regular day as part of the medical team. And where we say thank you for the all hospitals that are partnered with us, because they were open to the idea, and also were they say yes to pay the clowns and to put hospital budget to put clowns in hospital to be as part of the medical team, working regular hours, regular days. And there is a boss of the clown, usually the head nurse of pediatric. She's the boss. She tells the clown where to go, what to do. Take Corona, for example. They have new needs. So the new need is to go into the Corona department, into the wards. They work all, wear everything and protected and get protocol of hygiene, and they get inside the ward. And they're part of the team. 36 5 days a year, and because we gave the hospital the mandate to manage its own program, that's the secret of the success.
Okay, so but then in how many hospitals have you really been able to do this?
So today we work in 30 hospitals across Israel.
30.
We have 30. We have 100 clowns, all professional artists that were trained to work as part of the medical team, and we do around 43,000 yearly hours of clowning in hospital.
Wow. Wow. And what you're saying is that so the clowns are considered part of the medical staff, and they are paid by the budgets of the hospitals and therefore of the ministry. How many hospitals do you have in Israel?
There is a little bit more than 30, but in the most important hospital in Israel, the biggest, we are there.
So you are in all the hospitals of Israel, in all the big hospitals of Israel. You
Yes.
have this team that is integrated in. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So can you explain me what a weekly plan looks like, and what types of patients do you actually treat? When do you intervene? Is it with adults or just children? What ages do they react better to the kind of interventions that you offer, and how your week more or less is organized?
So I will answer again from the field how we do it in the hospitals. We have so many projects right now. We have many clowns who are doing specialty projects. For example, geriatric work with reconstruction and the help we give them to refine, regroup. It is many times team meetings where elderly geriatric people. On the other side of life, we have clowns working in neonatal, where the children are born premature, and the clown plays music, for example, and together with the nurses and the doctors, they try to elevate the level of saturation and the heart rate of these premature babies. In one hospital, we even have an exquisite, very special program of clowns, female clowns, girl clowns, working with birth, with the ladies who come to give birth to babies. But of course, it's female to female, and they can help them before the birth to relax and to prepare themselves. And so we have very interesting projects like that. We work in social arena, and we work in the medical arena, in the educational arena. But what you've asked me is actually, what do we do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Yes, for us in Israel, the week starts on the Sunday. It's normal for us. Our clowns work regular hours, regular shift. Each clown has 3 or maybe 4 shifts a week where she knows exactly where they work, with who, and what is the procedure that we are doing. In that way, our clowns can get very, very expert in what they do, because if it is about blood drawing, it's different from physiotherapy. So we have a very clear schedule. This schedule is made by the hospital. The administration of the hospital, they know where do they have more mass of children. Maybe it's about the emotional state. We know that some procedures are more emotional and more a strain of emotion for these patients. So they will decide where do we go. When we start, after this has been set, and of course also reviewed every year or 2 years, they review where do the clowns work better, what brings us better results, change the atmosphere in a more efficient way. We love being effective. We love to make a difference. So now our clowns start to work, mainly, of course, with the children in pediatric. And even in pediatric, it differs for very young babies, and then children, and then, of course, adolescent, teenager, that we know that is a special kind of approach, even for medical staff. The nurses, every nurse knows she needs to speak in a different way with teenagers. They accept things in a different way. So our clowns with the teenagers, for example, will come maybe from a little bit more of a stand-up direction, they will be more entertaining and interesting, and they will learn this child how to reach their heart and open them up. Then what we will do, just as you asked me, let me show you maybe, for example, we know that blood test is a very, very difficult procedure. Even if it doesn't hurt so much, it's very frightening. That's why we invented things like this. Yes, yes, yes. We made this up to be a toy. We want this thing to feel not threatening and a toy that we can enjoy. So, for example, this would work in the ER or in the where children arrive, where they need to go through this frightening procedure of blood drawing, and the clown can either draw their attention to somewhere else or help the medical staff address what is happening now. The clown will take off the nurse and the doctor. He will take off the job of emotional contact and this human relationship that happens. And then the doctor can be more focused on their work and, of course, also be more accessible for our patient. The best clown will not do just the clown job, but he will do the job that the whole team needs of them. Another example,
okay. Yeah. Give me another example.
So another example for an area that we work is, I'll talk 1 minute about physiotherapy, and then I'll move on. Physiotherapy, we all know the physiotherapy procedure. The biggest problem is motivation. We know what we need to do, but we don't want to do it. It hurts, it's boring, it's terrible, it doesn't feel right. The clown way to play and to make a game out of what is happening now, of course, by speaking with the physiotherapist and building this together, that's one wonderful way we can impact and change the course of the treatment. But just to finalize this question, the biggest impact, of course, that we will have is in the long-term departments, where, for example, oncology department and rehabilitation is where our clowns can follow a child and their family for many, many months. And there, of course, it's a different approach and a different level, because you have to be very real, very open, very interested in our patients, and work together alongside for many, many months until we, most of the time, have a happy ending and send these children home.
This is wonderful, seeing the potential in so many areas of your work. But then you work with, you deal with scientists, with doctors, and they want evidence beyond the anecdotes of what can happen with one child or one adult here and there and so on. What kind of evidence do you provide so that the system has made you part of it, an official part of it? What is the level of evidence that you have managed to provide?
So I will take it from here. As someone that is a non-clown and a non-doctor, we see that you say that chocolate is tasty, right? Chocolate is tasty, but you need to prove it. That's the idea, and this is what we wanted to do in order to evaluate the project. So with discussion with Ministry of Health along the years, we decided in 2011 that we will open a research fund that will support research in the field of medical clowning, and the goal will be that research will be published in scientific journals. So we are proud that since 2011, 43 research were funded for grants. Hospital and academic institute were the ones who did the research, not us as an organization, and half of them were published in scientific journals. The meaning that it's publication that were done by the hospital, not by us or by universities. impact of pain and anxiety on patients, cost saving for the hospital using medical clowns. We did even one research about our work in disaster zones, where we went to Nepal after the earthquake to work with medical staff abroad. So we have, I can refer and send you to our website of Dream Doctors, or where you can see all the publications. You have hyperlinks, you can click and you can see all the research using clown instead of sedation in some of the procedure. So it's also, you don't need to use medication, you can use the clown. All those research will publish in scientific journals, and this is part of what we do. And once we started to do the research, so the clown were part of the research, and the clown started to talk with doctors in research terms because they were part of the research. So the doctors say, wow, I have clowns that speak my language, and then all the connection between clowns and doctors were even better.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Yeah. Nimrod,
I can add that the research side of what we do, first of all, we'll be happy to send you the link to our research archive, because it's obviously open for all the public, and we want medical staff to review it and to add to it more researches. So we will send you this link. We'll have it all available for everybody. The interesting thing is, I think everybody agree that laughter is good for you. They say laughter is the best medicine. We say yes, but how and why? And we say there is excellent medicine in the hospital, so laughter is the best way to take medicine. It's the best atmosphere for therapy. And what we do in our research is to question, how can we do it here? How can we do it there? How can we affect the children? Some of the research are about the medical staff, the effect that our work has on the work of the medical staff. And even we've had one research that was made for the hospital administration about how much money the clowns can save for the hospital, because we know that at the end of the day, we want to be efficient for this organization. So what we do with our research archive is to question and to look at everything from many, many different aspects, also for us to learn what do we need to do next month and next year to improve, to develop, and to recreate this wonderful art.
Okay, so but all these
this is
all these,
just to say, I think they agree. He agrees with me. Yeah.
It's easy to agree with you, but it costs money. I mean, and here we are obsessed sometimes with the difficulty of managing hospital budgets and the Ministry of Health budget in this moment of great crisis. So the question is, and I had a meeting with a manager of a hospital, and she basically said, well, you know, are you making me choose between buying a wheelchair and some essential medical materials and stop buying that and investing the money in clowns in my hospital? Are you serious? What would be your response? Did you find this kind of reactions in Israel some years ago, before you were in all the hospitals?
So first of all, for a CEO of a hospital, it's a true dilemma. It's a true one, and we cannot say it's well more important than other things. But we did our test in Israel since the day one that we began, and we told the hospital, you will need to put some budget in that project. If it's not important to you and you have other priorities, that's okay. We're not mad at you. That's what you need. But the evidence at the final end, the bottom line, in all 30 hospitals, everyone find and the resources and see the clown as something that is important. One, to the patient and their families, of course, and two, to the medical teams also. To the medical teams, if it's for burnout, and if it's to advance the treatment, if it's to have a hospital that give a better service to his patients. That's also a criteria. And at the final end, that's a fact. We cannot argue with facts. At the final end, hospital decided that it's important, and they will put funds into the project.
I think there are two points that the hospital can look at. One is the patient satisfaction. We know that when patients are more collaborative, when they are happier, they collaborate more, they are accepting more, they accept even waiting, they accept the time that goes by, they receive the treatment and the hospital as an organization better. And the second point is an actual possibility of saving money, reducing time of spent in the clinic, and even saving material, because if we work with these children and we help them to get the puncture in one go, then we save a little bit of money, and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit will become something that the hospital will appreciate and can use.
And the medical staff, nurses, and so on, do they welcome you? Did they, at the beginning, was it easy for them to see the impact you were having, or it also took time? I mean, you were perhaps perceived as a disruption to the traditional way of delivering certain interventions. What is the reaction, positive and negative, that you witnessed during this process?
I will go. I started in Dream Doctors at the beginning of the project. That was 2003. Nobody knew what the clown was, and it was a very fresh start for us in Israel. We don't have a big background of clown, red nose in Israel. The comedy is different. It's more about maybe Jewish humor that we like to call the jokes of old-time jokes. By the way, these jokes many times are very therapeutic, what we call the humor of the Jewish people. Many times a good Jewish joke is a sad story with a funny ending. The ability to combine laughter and sadness together, that's one of the things we have in our culture. That's one of the things that helped us at the beginning to go into the hospitals and let the doctors, the nurses check, see how it is. Israel we have a culture of research. We love to question everything. Why? But why? Why is this like this? Why is that like that? That was one of the things that helped us. We kept telling the doctors, the nurses, see why this is good, how this is working. In the beginning, of course, there were more questions, and we had to take baby steps into the procedure. We could not go into the ER at the beginning. We could not go into some of the clinics. It was only because we work a regular work. The staff sees that the clowns are there every day. They have a team of clowns working. These clowns think like a therapist. They look for where can they bring help, where can they change. They come alone, by the way. One of our unique aspects of our model in Israel is that the clown works solo. It's one clown in the clinic. So since clowns love to be together and play with other people and be in contact, the clown has to create more clowns around him and to bring out the clownish part from the nurses, from the doctors. So that's how we developed this collaboration with the staff until where we are today, that in Israel, we are now teaching in the medical, the medical academy. So we teach medical students, we have a course of our medical clowning for them, so they will know how to use the clowns when they come to work in the hospital. And of course, we do a lot of work in an approach to the medical staff in a way that they will want to use these clowns at the end of the day for the benefit of the patient, so that the patient will feel better as quickly as possible, and also for their own benefits. I cannot tell you, Miguel, how many videos I did, a video as a clown with the head nurse or with a doctor for their children back at home, for example. Hey, I'm here in the hospital with daddy or mommy. We are here together, and then we say hello to you. Hey, get out of bed, go do your homework, etc. So that's how we found a way where the clowns can be a really vital part of the medical staff.
That's wonderful. So you said something that, and I want to explore that. You said something about the Jewish humor. I need an example. I mean, is it that different than the Catalan humor? Show us something.
So first of all, I would love to, but let me just say this: in Israel, in our culture, it is very custom to laugh about sad stories. Israel is a country that is under almost constant trauma, with a lot of traumatic events in so many levels. And still, Israelis, as a general, are happy with their life and content with the challenges that they have, and they live in Israel and create culture and art and so many things. So we come from a culture that is about medical clowning, how to bring humor, laughter, better feeling into a difficult situation. Now, Jewish humor is an endless field, wonderful field. Let's just tell one story, again, terrible story with a funny ending, but we can all relate to it. It's the story about this guy, and he walks down the street and he meets his friend, but he's crying. So he asks, what happened? So the friend says, my wife died. So the guy says, I didn't know you got married. Congratulations, Mazel Tov. Some of these jokes are not ha jokes. They are the laughter of the clown. It is this smile that goes deep into your heart and makes you feel that even if life is not perfect, even if we have trouble and problems all around us every day, it's up to us, and we have the ability to address it in a powerful, energetic, positive way.
Okay.
Do you have a Catalan joke for me?
I don't have a Catalan joke. I mean, I lost it all with all my hair. So we like to play with ourselves. We make jokes about ourselves, and this we enjoy that. And I think these happy ending, bad stories with a happy ending are not far from what we would laugh at. So I do associate with that. But this is perhaps a personal thing.
Let me tell you another one just came to my mind. It's where the train is standing in the station, and the guard comes and he yells to the train, Rubinstein, where is Rubinstein? So everybody look out of the windows, and one guy says, I'm Rubinstein. So the guard comes to him and slap him. So everybody laugh. And also Rubinstein, he laughed. So they asked Rubinstein, why are you laughing? So he says, I kid with him. I'm not Rubinstein. Jewish humor is very philosophical.
I can see that. Okay, so my last question now. So what is next for clown doctors in Israel? What are your next steps? Your challenges? What do you want to do in the coming months and years? It's a difficult question.
It's a difficult one, but because we put our target at day one when we started the project, so it makes easier for me to answer it. We really going toward official recognition of medical clowning in Israel. So it will be with an academic track that people can go and study that, and we will have official position in hospital, paid by the country, with no philanthropic in the background and anymore. That's the thing. And to achieve that, we have three things that we do. One is the work on the field, two is the research, and three is the academic track. So right now, because of COVID, we're a little bit stuck, but we have already a partnership with the nursing school in Israel to do a standard for medical clowning, an academic track as part of nursing school and medical clowning that will be recognized by Ministry of Health. And this is where we want to go.
Okay, that's wonderful. And this recognition, what would it mean? I mean, because you're already in public hospitals. Are there private hospitals too in Israel?
Yeah, also, yeah.
And you're in both.
In both.
In both.
The meaning is that there will be like a nurse, like a doctor, like a physiotherapist, like every medical profession. It will be a profession that will be recognized with an academic track, with the backup of research, and it's simple to say it, but that's what it is.
Excellent. And
I can add that we will continue to develop this project in as many places as we can. Personally, as a clown, as an artist, I want people to have more energy, to believe in themselves, to be able to change the way that they feel about their problems and troubles in life. And just one last detail, maybe, we work a lot and we are very interested in the effect on the medical staff. How can we help nurses, doctors, psychologists, social workers in their work feel better about what they are doing? We know that the system of the hospital, the organization of the healthcare system is not easy for the people who work in it. And we appreciate their work so much. We want to find new ways to help them continue to do their work in a happy and strong way.
Excellent. Well, that was inspiring, extremely useful, and I think, I mean, the learning that I'm taking from this conversation is that we could get the most out of this context in which we live, where the health system is taken to the limit, and the level of stress is the highest that we have seen in our lifetime, most probably. That we could take a lot of advantage of integrating the service of clown doctors, of clowns, hospital clowns, as part of the process, as part of the therapeutic process. And I think it should go even beyond that, because the ways in which we are confronting the pandemic, having more emotional tools to deal with it, and humor seems to be perhaps one of the most powerful ones to deal with this pandemic. It would be extremely powerful as a way of responding and living better through these strange times that we have in front of us. So thank you again very much on behalf of Pallapupas and on my behalf. And I hope that we will one day be able to visit you there, and you will be able to come here and show us a bit more of your wonderful Jew humor. So thank you very much.
You're welcome anytime. Anytime.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Shalom.
Thank you.
Buenos días,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Muchas gracias.